Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, where untold stories and unsolved mysteries come to life. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on all our fascinating cases. Today we're diving into a mysterious story about a man who disappeared in an inexplicable way. Stay tuned until the end to uncover the shocking details. The Whispering Shadows. In a small, forgotten town, hidden among the distant hills, stood an old house with a terrifying reputation. The house was known to all locals as the House of Dreams. There was nothing particularly special about it, just an old wooden building, neglected and weathered, with rusty ironwork and creaking doors that groaned with each gust of wind. But people said that the house was haunted. No one dared to go near it, and those who had passed by spoke of shadows that seemed to move behind its crumbling windows, and whispers that echoed from deep within the surrounding forest. One day, a young journalist named David, known for his courage and his thirst for the truth, overheard the tales about the House of Dreams at a cafe in a nearby town. The locals, with their mysterious gazes, whispered about shadows living inside the walls and voices that filled the air with horror, echoing through the forest at night. Apparently, every evening, a dim light would glow faintly from the house's broken windows, and sounds of whispers and moans could be heard until dawn. David, being fascinated by strange and unexplained stories, decided that he had to uncover the truth. The next morning, he traveled to the house everyone feared, determined to investigate and reveal what lay hidden within. As he walked down the narrow road, battered by the wind, David couldn't shake the eerie sensation creeping up his chest. The forest around the house seemed to close in on him, and the birds were silent. Only the heavy stillness of nature filled the air. Upon reaching the house, David stopped and looked at it carefully. It was an ancient structure, its roof caved in at certain points, and its windows shattered by time. But what troubled him the most was the unsettling feeling that the house was watching him, as if the walls hid something more than just decay. He slowly pushed open the rusty gate and stepped into the yard. The deep woods surrounding him made him feel trapped, as if the house was keeping him in, bound by its sinister atmosphere. Inside the house, light barely filtered through the cracked windows and gaps in the roof. David walked up the creaking staircase, each step echoing ominously, as if someone was following him. On the upper floor, an old door creaked open in front of him, and the air in the room was thick and hard to breathe, smelling of mold and old dust. Everything seemed frozen in time. In the middle of the room, there were old footprints on the floor, as though someone had been there long ago. But David knew he couldn't leave without facing whatever dark truth lay hidden. He lit his lantern and began to explore the room, which looked like it hadn't been lived in for decades. But as he approached a window at the far end of the room, a soft voice, almost a whisper, filled his ears. "Leave. You are not welcome. Leave." David froze. The voice hadn't come from anyone around him. It seemed to echo directly from the walls of the house. "Who are you?" he shouted. But the echo of his words was swallowed by the emptiness, without a response. What seemed like a deep silence was actually a rising mental pressure. Suddenly, his lantern flickered and went out. In the darkness, David heard footsteps approaching, as if someone was walking towards him from behind. He swallowed a lump of fear, but refused to be paralyzed by it. He spun around quickly, but no one was there. However, the window at the far side of the room suddenly shattered, and a cold, black breeze rushed toward him. In that moment, the sense of unease became unbearable. From upstairs, a shadow moved slowly, its form barely visible in the darkness. It was covered in blackness, and its shape seemed to float. "You are not welcome here. Leave, or you will stay forever." The voice was cold, yet had a haunting depth to it. David, trembling, tried to press the button on his lantern, but it wouldn't turn on. He felt a pressure on his chest and a slight choking sensation around his throat, as if invisible hands were holding him captive. Trying to breathe deeply, he froze and the shadow drew closer. He screamed with all his might, but no one heard him. That night, the house remained silent. The next morning, the people of the town learned about the disappearance of the journalist, but no one knew what had truly happened. The old house remained unchanged, and the whispers still lingered in the wind that rustled through the trees. And so the legend of the House of Dreams deepened into its own mystery, and David became just another forgotten tale. No one dared to approach the haunted house anymore, but the echoes of his voice merged with the shadows that still haunted the forest. I know you're probably wondering what happened in this mysterious story, but sadly, I don't have the answers for you either. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, leave a comment, and tell us what you think happened. Don't forget to subscribe because we've got plenty more strange tales and unexpected events coming your way. See you in the next one, where the mysteries never stop. Until then,